Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to 22 Panels, where our guest tonight is Mr. Rick Geary, the king of the true crime comic, which is why my wife Kelly has joined us because she always joins for the true crime podcasts. And I'm going to let her ask the first question because I know she's been excited about this since she started emailing.
Yes. So hello, thank you so much for being here. We contacted you mainly because you're amazing, but you also have a Kickstarter going on right now for the Benito City tragedy,
Right.
which sounds really exciting. I'm super excited for it.
Well, it's a dark little corner of New Mexico history.
Yeah. Did it happen near where you are?
Yes, yes, it's Lincoln County, just a few miles from where I live. And
Oh, that's crazy.
when wherever I live, I kind of love to delve into local history. And this is one of those stories that people talk about, but they really don't know that much about it.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I need to learn more about it, but I'm a big true crime buff. And actually I think most of the listeners know the story of how I got started into comics. It hasn't been that long, but it was actually yours that really got me interested
Well,
because they're just
Essentially, what
amazing.
happened is I brought Hillary Fitzgerald Campbell's murder book home just for myself, but she saw it and devoured it. And then she started looking for every true crime comic she could find. I come
wow.
home from school one day and she's like, "Do you know Rick Geary? His compendium of 20th century?" And I'm like, "Kelly, it's on your shelf upstairs. I gave it to you for Christmas last year."
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yes, and I've just been devouring them ever since.
Oh,
So they're
She found
absolutely
your
amazing.
website and started ordering stuff that I'd never heard of. I was impressed.
very nice to hear.
Yes. Well, I think what makes me so excited about your artwork is it's very beautiful. I have a painting and printmaking degree. I'm an art teacher, and your art reminds me very much of just like almost like etching, because there's lots of hatching, cross hatching, all of that fun stuff.
Yeah, well, I'm a big fan of the pen and ink illustrators of the early
Mhm.
20th century that so meticulous and so they so spot on in creating the mood and the texture. Uh, Boy, if I can come anywhere near that, I'm very
Oh
happy.
yeah. Yeah, you definitely do. It's amazing. I love your hatching and your cross hatching, and you tend to have like this three line cross or three line hatch that you put in a lot of your textures that I just adore. I see it in a lot of your work, and I it's my favorite thing. So um yeah, and I love I was telling Tad about the architecture and the fun little pictures that you put on your Facebook page of all of like the little architecture things, and they remind me of a cross between Renee Magritte and MC Escher. They're just
Oh,
this amazing combination of surreal and like mathematical even too. They're just so interesting.
wow. Well, both those people make me very, very flattering.
Oh,
Uh,
good.
I It came about through, I think, the time around COVID, where I was kind of where we were all forced to stay indoors for long periods. And we live in this 1910 house, which, there aren't any straight corners or straight angles. Everything kind of comes together in an odd way. And just kind of looking around made my imagination squirm a little. So
I
that everything kind of came out of that.
That's awesome. Yeah, I just love looking at them because I'm just like, where does he get these ideas? They're so cool. Just my favorite is the zipper from it almost looks like curtains on the top. The zipper comes down and ends at the bottom of the floor. That's beautiful. I love that so much.
Well, thank you, thank you.
So we'll have to post it on our page so people know what I'm talking about.
Once I get caught up on that, or you'll have
Yeah.
to do this one to make certain
I probably will.
it's right.
Yeah.
I'm way behind with show notes. um, I just because I didn't know you'd done heavy metal until Kelly mentioned it earlier today. But I
Yeah.
happen to have pretty much all heavy metal digitally, so I'm going back
Oh, wow.
and just flipping through your first couple.
It was a
And
few years.
it's odd for me because I'm used to you doing the history. So to see these are both sci-fi stories, but they still look like your history, and I love it.
Yeah, I'm kind of stuck in this narrative mode, and it doesn't change no matter what the context is.
Well,
Uh,
how did you develop that style? I mean, comics are. I mean, anybody who listens at all knows that comics are, to me, the perfect medium. There's nothing that can't be done. I completely understand why anybody would be drawn to comics, but at the same time, not enough people are. So, what drew you to comics?
well,
How did it feel like the right way to tell all of these stories?
I have to say, I'm always semi-ashamed to say this around comic people, but I was never a comic fan growing up at all.
That's okay.
Comic collector or anything like that. When I was 13, I first encountered Mad Magazine, and that's what kind of lit a fire under me. Uh, Humorous illustration. And it was later on that I kind of had the idea to tell stories in a graphic medium, but I wanted to avoid the mechanics of traditional storytelling. That's about the time that Edward Gorey kind of entered my consciousness, and he was a big influence. And I always wanted to tell stories not with traditional dialogue or a traditional panel to panel sequence, but with individual illustrations. I don't know if I'm making myself clear,
No,
but
that makes perfect sense. I mean, I was just
like a storybook, like an illustrator's.
Mhm.
no Kelly just also threw my direction earlier today. Your murder book, which is a kind of collection of your, I assume, was it from when you were still with the newspaper? Just because of the size of the panels, it seems like they were written for a bigger page.
The murder collection.
Yes.
A lot of those are this little strip I did that I
Right.
contributed with some weekly papers. Yeah, those are greatly enlarged. And
Yeah. But I was struck by the storytelling on that first one in it, which it was a unsolved murder in Wichita at the
Mhm.
time. I'm just Kelly's nodding her head, so I'm getting it right.
Yeah, you're doing. Yep, you're
She
right.
remembers all of this stuff perfectly.
uh, yeah, that was I did that. There's for this anthology comic. That story was my first published comic story, and it was done for an anthology of Hunter Thompson in
Oh, that's even
1970.
that makes it make even more sense. Because what I
And
loved about it,
my that unsolved murder really has nothing to do with him. So I stuck his face up in the corner
right?
like he's telling the story.
Well,
But
the style fits though, because what I loved was, and it's kind of what you're describing here, that you wanted to be able to tell it with pictures and captions, is that it read like flipping through the
well,
case file. It wasn't completely sequential. It wasn't smoothed around the edges. There was commentary like the lieutenant said, this guy made more money than a cop, but he's an idiot.
uh, Well, actually, it's funny you should say that because it is based on an actual case and an actual case file that I have this friend in, this is back in Wichita, uh, when I lived there. This friend of mine was a former cop, and he gave me this complete case file, including all the handwritten notes of the detectives of this unsolved murder that took place in the 60s in Wichita. And I devoured it. I
Yeah.
Wrote out each fact, each clue, each bit of information out in this big list, and that's what I used to compose the story.
Okay.
Each panel is a discrete unit of information.
Yeah.
There's not necessarily a narrative flow to it, but I
But
wanted
there
to.
is. It's like
Yeah.
the narrative of the detective sitting at the desk trying to
Yeah,
figure it out.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's what it almost feels like, is like you're going through the case files. I think every book I read of yours, that's what I feel like. I like that it's not the panel to panel. It's like, this is what happened next, and this is what happened next. But it still flows, but it's not super sequential, if that makes sense.
That that's how I wanted to do it from the beginning. Like not a. I wanted to just present the facts, ma'am, and be as clear and accurate as possible, because I'm dealing with nonfiction. I don't want to frill it up with dialogue that's not authentic or any kind of extra drama,
Right.
because they're sensational enough on their own.
For sure. For sure.
How,
Yeah.
how do you go about research? Because some of the stuff you've done are rather famous cases. Some of it's obscure stuff. So
Some of
so
it's
there's
like,
not going to be a lot of people going after, oh, he got that wrong. But when you take on Jack the Ripper, there are a million people.
oh, I know. Yeah, a lot of the early ones I did, like the Lizzie Borden case, has legions of followers, and
Right.
H. Holmes. Anyway, I just simply read as much as I can on any individual case, and take notes. And my first step is to arrange everything into a chronological order, because I like following the case from the very beginning, which is usually discovery of the body,
Right.
and follow the investigation and the accumulation of facts. Um, so my research process, moves along those lines. I want to just put as much together as I can, even, in some cases, some of the more outlandish theories.
Mm-hmm.
There are many.
There are. I like how your books, they sometimes put in the different theories. Because I mean, we don't really know who Jack the Ripper was, but I like that you touch on a few of them here and there. And I know that with the Benito tragedy too, is there's like a couple different
Yeah,
what could have happened things. Do you try to decide which one to go through, or do you try to include all of them?
I try to include everything. Uh, Especially, most of the books I've done are unsolved cases, which I love more than anything. But like this new one, the Bonita City one, is definitely not unsolved. And there are several I've done that don't have, that we certainly know who did it from the beginning. And those are interesting too, just for the different characters involved, and the different incidents surrounding what went on, like the James A. Garfield assassination, which is one I'd been wanting to do for a long time, because I'd been reading about the president and this deranged man who stalked him. It was a good story to follow, I thought.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think one of my other favorites of yours is the Bloody Benders, because there's so much going on and you hit like every point too. It was just, I think that's probably one of my favorites of yours.
Oh,
You did it.
thank you. That was a return to my Kansas roots for sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a kind of a hometown.
Uh, That's one of there are like two or three of the books I've done where I've had the chance to go to the actual locations. And I did explore that area in southeastern Kansas, even though it's certainly not like it was 100 years ago.
No, yeah.
Uh, but it's good to go just to soak up the atmosphere of it.
Yeah, I loved the video you have on your Kickstarter of the gravesite of the Benito City tragedy. That is so cool. I love history like that.
Oh, me too. Yeah, that was very fascinating that marker is there to this day. You,
Yeah.
no one, people come to that little cemetery, they have no idea what it signifies. That's what I'm hoping to correct with this poem.
Yeah, for sure. I know someday, hopefully, my husband will let me go on vacations where we can go find some of these places and learn the
I'm okay with
history of
that.
them.
Why? I would never. I like grave sites.
Yeah,
As long as there's also baseball fields and comic shops nearby, we're good.
there you go.
Well, I
And
don't
We'll
and
know.
find something.
and I've made it clear I don't need my baseball to be major league. So I mean, it's hard to go places in the United States where there's not some level of baseball nearby.
Well, there is here. Yeah, I'd have to say.
There you go.
Little of it going on.
You know, I like finding the old ball player gravestones anyway. So I mean,
All right.
we can combine it. We
There
can
you
find the
go.
cemeteries that have weird murders and Negro leaguers.
There you go.
Possible. That can happen.
I'm just flipping through. You had a bunch of stuff in Dark Horse Presents too.
Yeah, they were kind enough to allow me to do one pagers, sometimes two and three, but mostly little one page things to fill out the volume, I think. If they have an extra page that they
Right.
need to occupy. Uh, my my former agent, David Scroggie, he worked for Dark Horse for years, and
Okay.
a good conduit for sure.
Yeah. Do you try? I know that quite a few of your past books have been through Kickstarter. Is that kind of what you're going through now, or do you have like a specific process?
Well, I this is actually my 10th book on Kickstarter, and I once my very first effort in that platform was like 2012, I think. Yeah, it's been 11 years now. Was so successful that I just kept on doing it, and every one has been successful. And I have I have a garage full of books now that I sell kind of in slow motion through my website and in a few retail outlets around the area here.
That's awesome.
So,
We definitely need to go there then. Yeah, I've been looking at all of the awesome ones that have been going through the Kickstarter. Just FYI to my husband, the Adirondack murder is #1 that I need to get on my list.
So in other words, Rick, you're going to need to tell me what you have lying around the house so I can save you money to buy my wife for Christmas.
Flying around.
Right. So I saw that you said Mad kind of got you started in really liking that, and your work has been in Mad.
Well, yeah, talk about a dream come true.
Yeah.
As a teenager, I subscribed to it, and I tried to copy the styles of all the different artists. They were my idols, and then to actually become a contributor was just more than I could ever have hoped for.
I bet.
We're on separate coasts, so I never got to rub shoulders with any of those people, unfortunately. Yeah. Rub elbows, whatever it is.
So, who was your favorite Mad artist?
Oh, well, Mark Drucker, he's everyone's favorite.
Well, I don't know. I'm a Jaffe guy myself.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. I can go
Jaffe and Aragones are my guys. I lack more to lot.
Sergio's one of the artists I've gotten to know over the years. He's really
Nice.
Yeah,
a
he
wonderful
seems
guy.
like a really fantastic guy.
Yeah. And Mad, yeah, Mad was a just an incredible opportunity. I loved it.
That's awesome. Yeah, that would be so
Even though,
exciting and surreal.
Well, here I am getting geeky too, because I might have Matt at my fingertips as well. So I have to go look at what your Mad story is.
So you said you do a lot of the research. Do you do most of the research on your own, or do you ever have anybody help you?
oh, no, this is all kind of a solitary pursuit.
Oh, that's
After
cool.
I find as many books as I can. There's some of those cases I've done, like the uh, Axeman of New Orleans. No one has written a book about that case.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
I had to find articles and smaller pieces that people have written as part of anthologies, and as well as sources online. And also, that was another instance in which I got to visit some of the actual locations. I visited some friends in New Orleans just right as I was doing the book. So it caused me to change some of the sketches I'd already done. So that was a case in which the actual location work really helped.
Well, that's so cool. I would love to do that. I think that would probably be, I love research. I have a teaching and no, not a teaching. I
You
have a technology and
research.
learning degree, which is basically all research. So I love research and learning. So
Terrific. Yeah, I have to say, that's my favorite part. It gets me away from
hmm,
the board for a little while.
for sure. Yeah.
Do you often travel to get to know places, or is it
Yeah,
kind
I
of a
haven't had the
rarity when you get
opportunity
to?
that much. There's just a handful of the books, maybe three or four that I've done the in-person location work. But yeah, it'd be nice to be able to travel to London and visit the actual
Yeah, that would be cool.
Well, you
Jack
need to
the
get
Ripper.
yourself invited to one of the cons out there.
There you go.
We'll work on
Hey, yeah.
that. So somebody needs to. If I know that I've got a handful of listeners on the other side of the ocean. If you're talking to anybody about Thought Bubble, they want to have Rick Geary out for like a lifetime achievement thing, and put him up so he can check out London.
There you
Yeah,
go.
for sure.
Makes sense to me.
Perfect.
So you're a big fan of Edward Gorey. Has your interest in him, did that kind of influence your, or did it go along with your interest in researching true crime and
Well, it was his ink style was a big
yeah.
influence. So it was his sensibility, his way of looking at things, and
Hmm.
his uh, his mind just seemed to be in the past a lot,
Yeah,
and
for sure.
he could recreate that mindset, uh, the Edwardian way of looking at things, and the
Yes.
eccentricity of the old old children's books and an old instructional, in self-improvement books. Um, that's the kind of stuff that really fascinates me. That
Yeah.
I try to at least get a small glancing inkling of what it is, what it's like. I,
Yeah, for sure. It's yeah, you have a lot of similarities in your styles and even just in your storytelling. It's similar. It's got this rhythm to it, but it's a story. It's not so much a, like you said, a sequential. It's more of a, this page does this and this page does this. So it's very similar. Your styles are. We
yeah,
actually had an artist on last week named Landis Blair. I don't know if you know him, but he's very similar to your artwork and Edward Gorey. And he said that he really likes both of you guys. You're a huge influence to him.
Let me write down his name here, Landis.
Landis
He also
Blair.
does true crime.
Yes, he did the art for The Hunting Accident, which is about Leopold and Loeb.
Oh,
That's really cool.
okay. Wow.
You
I'm
should
not.
look at his artwork. It's pretty awesome.
That was one case that was on my list back when
Was it?
I was thinking in terms of a list.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to ask, do you have more on your list that you're planning on doing in the future?
Well, nothing specific. I have another Billy the Kid project in mind.
Oh, awesome.
Which I'll hope to get to at some point after this current Kickstarter project is over. But other than that, there's as far as actual true crime is concerned, there's I don't really have anything that's nagging at me like I used to have. Yeah, I'm more immersed in local history now.
Mm-hmm.
Partly because I can actually sell those books around here. And,
Yeah, and you can probably research it easier because there's more opportunity down there.
more around
That
here
actually leads
to
that leads
research.
to one of the questions that popped into my head earlier. You've been doing nonfiction comics since the 80s, which means that you've been researching nonfiction from a time where it was microfilm and libraries to the age of the internet. How has your research changed through the years? Do you have a way that you prefer to research?
Well, I still prefer good old fashioned books, like real actual books you can open up
I get it.
and read. And oh God, you should see our house. Um, and a lot of the online sources are just kind of watered down versions of what you can find in the books anyway, I think. And not just books, but quarterlies, historical quarterlies, and magazines. It's easy to find whatever's out there. At least it has been.
Okay, I found at least. Did you do more than one Mad piece? I found immediate listings for one piece in Mad.
I contributed for about 8 years.
Okay, see, particularly with anthologies, most of the online stuff, I got to dig deep to manage to find everything, and that's why I asked the question rather than assuming. But I have to say that what I just found was Matt assessing the field of other potential presidential candidates, including John F. Kennedy Jr. Were you projecting into the future? Because there's some people down in Texas that think he's coming back to run for president.
No, why the fuck not? Actually, I'm trying to remember that one. Anyway, I was just the illustrator for these. These came to me already written. And even the pages were already laid out, and all I had to do was fill up the little spaces.
Gotcha.
Where the illustrations were to go. Oh, I remember this now. My God. Okay. Joey Buttafuoco, like who remembers him?
Unfortunately, I do.
Okay. That's funny.
But yeah, no, when I saw that, I had to ask. But that leads nicely into, particularly because I noticed that you've been doing stuff for Ahoy lately.
Yeah, being... Yeah, when they had their Edgar Allan Poe series, I
Yeah.
did.
Well, and it looks like you had an illustration in one of the short stories at the back of Con and On recently as well.
Yeah, I've done yeah, several illustrations for the back of the comics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Ahoy is one of our favorite publishers, and we've talked to a number of the people there. So don't feel like you have to say beautiful things about them, but I say beautiful things about them. How has it been working
Well,
with
I've
Ahoy, and how did that come about?
I've had no complaints at all. They've been very, very easy, very friendly to work with. We just communicate by email. I don't have any uh, real deep contact with them. They
Well, I
just,
mean, Tom's in the middle of nowhere in New York, so I mean that's to be expected.
yeah, that's boy.
Well,
Uh,
not quite the middle of nowhere. I think it's Syracuse.
oh well,
I think main offices are in Syracuse. It just
but
feels like.
yeah, they've been a good client for.
So did they reach out to you? Did you reach out to them? How did that come about?
Actually, they contacted me at first, I
Okay.
guess, because my history was doing. Uh, well, I don't know. I guess it was for the
History's doing history. And Tom Pyre's a big comics guy, so I I think he knows who to reach out to for anything.
I was really grateful for that. There, yeah.
But the biggest question is what's the difference between um doing like an Edgar Allan Poe snifter story where you're providing the art for somebody else's writing
Yeah.
or your own work?
Uh, yeah, I'd rather illustrate my own work, of
You'd
course,
rather.
but I'll take on any assignment, and sometimes it's a little torturous for me to interpret the writer's work, but I don't want to do a disservice to the writer who actually came up with the story, and it's a challenge. It has been for me, but it's good for me, I think.
And what about when it's just the like one illustration for a story? And I think this is the first time I've gotten to talk to somebody who's done just the illustration for the prose at the back. How do you approach that sort of assignment?
Oh, well, I've certainly done that over the years. Um, I just read the story. They send me the story, and usually the illustration is pretty obvious.
Okay.
What's the picture? Uh, Sometimes it's a little more difficult, but yeah.
Well, I mean, you guys who think in pictures say these things about being pretty obvious. I think in words, so it's never obvious to me.
We've had this discussion many times that there are people who think in words and people who think in pictures. And I'm very much a think in pictures. I can instantly imagine it in my head. And my guess is that's pretty much how your brain works as well.
Oh yeah, I'm more visually oriented for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I have people who give me a hard time for reading comics, and they'll sit there going, "But I like to picture it in my head and make a movie in my head." And I'm like, I don't make movies in my head. I don't know what that feels like. I need somebody else to make the pictures
Ah,
for me.
exactly.
Otherwise, I just have these words in my head that I know they describe something, but it's just words.
Right, right. Yeah.
I mean, it's just me.
Back in my younger years in college, I was really wanted to be a filmmaker. I was uh, incredibly enthusiastic about movie making, and I wanted to go to Hollywood and direct and write movies, but that didn't work out. That
Well,
was when I discovered comics as a way to tell stories, and it's the same formal problems as movies. Uh, Breaking a story down into shots and angles and uh, when to go in for a close up and when to hang back and for a distance shot. It's all there in comics, and plus I can do it all by myself.
yeah, you don't have to deal with the actors or the studios. I
Yeah.
I, I have a good friend who both writes and directs television and writes comics. And
Wow.
his insurance comes through the television, but the comics are more fun.
Oh, I can see that. Yeah.
I'm looking at A Tale of the Great Plague here, the
Oh,
story
yeah,
you
that
wrote.
was the one that I wrote myself. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm loving the art here. Um, it looks like you did Lee Lowridge did the colors. How involved do you get with your colorist in terms of
I don't.
you
I
don't you just say
with
take
what
it, Lee?
every colorist has done really
No, the colors are fantastic. Lee
really
does
well.
great work.
Yeah, they're very subtle in that story.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, I the
Here,
colors
I'll
that they
share so
use.
Kelly can see what I'm looking at.
Whoop. Oh, there it is.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's beautiful.
Yeah, those are,
I
yeah,
love this
Yeah, it
house.
works really well because we can still see his line work really
Yeah,
easily. That's my favorite part, and I think that's what makes your artwork so
I like your
beautiful.
buildings.
Hmm.
yeah, I love
Like a house like this, are you finding a picture of the house to work from? Are you doing this?
that one was kind of out of my imagination. I'm just using Victorian elements, uh,
Okay.
throwing them together.
So you do have a very architectural mind. Did you ever consider going into architecture engineering?
No, not at all. I love architecture,
No. Okay.
but uh, no, I don't think I could be a real
Not
architect.
you. No, that's fine. I just a lot of your drawings have that. It's so well done. And so I automatically think like, well, he must just have a background in it because it's wonderful. My brother is an engineer and I know that he has to draw like this all the time and he struggles with it. So
Yeah, yeah. Uh, too much math.
Well,
yeah, I
see,
know exactly.
there
He's
you go, Kelly. Kirby can hire Rick Geary to do the drawings for him.
there you
He can do the
go. That'd
math.
be perfect.
What's your page rate, Rick?
Sure. Perfect. No, he does a good job, but I know that he feels like he struggles. So doesn't come
Yeah,
naturally to him as well.
well, sometimes it's difficult, but
So
that's
you didn't really read comics before Mad. Um, as you've worked in the business, have you started reading more, or is it still more making them than reading them?
um, yeah, I have to say I don't really follow what's out there.
No,
Uh,
that's okay.
yeah, okay.
No, it's completely okay. I mean,
Uh,
my
I
my
was,
only thing with comics is that I don't like people who say they don't like the medium at all. I feel like that's saying I don't like prose or I don't like moving pictures.
well, yeah, I
There's
don't,
got
yeah,
to be a comic. Yeah, there's got to be a comic you would like. You liked Mad Magazine. That's a comic.
yeah, yeah,
It was called a magazine, but that's a whole other story. And people who didn't go see Innocence and Seduction at the City Lit Theater, you missed out. It closed last weekend, but it will be coming out in print sometime soon. I'm certain I'll plug the hell out of it.
all right,
Um, it it was a play that a friend of mine wrote about the
yeah,
congressional comics hearings and Bill
yeah.
Gaines that ends with the invention of Mad Magazine because that didn't need to have the Comics Code approval because it was a magazine in black and white.
Whoa, okay, wow.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
I'll
how
be,
Bill Gaines got the last laugh after essentially the rest of the industry shut him down by creating a code that put all of his books out of print. Um,
wow.
cool story.
Uh,
No
uh,
murder, but a cool story.
I do think one of the coolest things is like my husband likes to tell a story a lot how it took him and we're celebrating our 10-year wedding anniversary on Thursday and he talks about how we've been together 11 years, how he spent 11 years, no, probably like what, 9 years trying to
Nine
get
and a
me
half, 10 years
to
trying
read
to get her into
comics.
comics.
Yeah. And then as soon as I found your stories. They're perfect for me because they
Well,
have the
you still have to say Hillary first, because I had
Hillary,
given
of
you his
course.
stories.
Yes.
I'd given you multiple volumes of his stories that were sitting unopened on your bookshelf.
Right. Okay, so Hillary helped, but but it was so helpful to see that I think you kind of everything I needed in a comic was the artwork that was just the black and white, the pen and ink, which was perfect. And the way you tell a story is this happened and then this happened. Like you said, almost like reading through the case file. And I think that's probably one of my favorite things is realizing there are so many different types of comics out there for people. Like even me, even I like them.
She reads as many or more comics as I do now. But
yeah.
Not really due to anything on my part other than bringing Hillary Campbell's book home from the library for myself. I'd given up on getting her to read comics, even though it was a topic that was dead on for her. I had no intention of suggesting it to her, but she saw it on the couch and she devoured it in one sitting. And then she started looking for your stuff because Hillary likes your stuff too. So it got plugged in her book.
Yeah, you're in her book. And so that's kind of what really got me going. So
yeah.
Do you do your own lettering too?
I have in the past until it got too so labor intensive that it's became bad for my hand, and so a friend of mine made a font of my lettering for me
That's awesome.
Which has relieved me of a lot of strain. And
yeah, I love the lettering of it too because it's so specific. It's not like anyone else's lettering, and it just goes so well.
Kind of distinct lettering style.
For sure.
So it's cool that somebody made a font of your lettering.
Just
noticing that as Kelly's telling me that there's a little bit more flair to your letters.
Yeah, and I feel like it really goes along with the historical.
Yeah.
Because absolutely. It's not the streamlined computer, it's like it goes so well with the historical writing.
Well, good. Yeah, I wanted something that would be totally my own.
Yeah.
It's funny. Some of my favorite interviews in comics have been with letters, just because they're the unsung heroes, but they also are the first people who get to see the book,
right,
in its entirety. So that I talked to Clem Robbins once, and he went on about how because when he realized that he was going to need to work digital, it's like it's okay, that's fine. But one of the things he loves about hand lettering is that not every E looks identical. So he essentially created himself like a 200 and some odd character font and a program to semi-randomize which.
Yeah, that would be ideal. I like that.
To make it seem like it's still hand lettered. Yeah. And I'm like, that's a level of devotion.
Yes.
And a level of OCD-ness that I don't even know if I can. And I'm an OCD guy. I can completely fall into the most mundane, repetitive tasks. And I love Clem. Clem, if you're listening, because I know you do sometimes, I love you. Don't take this in any way as negative. But when he was saying that, I was going, wow. It's just, particularly because making fonts is the thing that separates letterers. There are a handful of them that like making their own fonts. And there's a bigger handful of them that have made one font to prove to themselves that they could and never, ever, ever want to do it again. They'll buy fonts from anybody, but making their own, forget about it.
Yeah, well, I think the lettering is part of the picture. It's part of the visual makeup of the panel, and should be able to do your own.
Yeah. Yeah.
I saw that you did some illustrations for the Old Farmer's Almanac.
Oh
And that
my
made me
Wow.
really excited too, because I'm from South Dakota where it's all farm. And so I have looked through many Old Farmer's Almanacs before. So I'm actually hoping that we still have some from my
If
grandparents and that they're
if you
hopefully
don't, I
your
bet you my mom does. My mom
pieces are
will
in there.
every year.
Yeah.
You know that she never throws anything away.
Yeah.
Oh, that
That's
would be fun to look.
yeah, that's so cool. What did you mostly do for the Old Farmer's Almanac? Was it mainly
It's just illustrations for their articles
okay,
about planting and
sure.
cleaning out the basement and stuff like that.
Right, right. Oh, that's so exciting. Yes,
Yeah,
I hope I can find them.
way back in the 90s, I think. Wow.
Yeah,
Ancient.
that seems like a while ago. I think I was in junior high. Sorry.
Oh boy.
It says, yeah, I'm finding and reading random stuff from you. I just read The Crime in the City one page in Eclipse magazine, 1981.
Yeah.
This is a truly. I'm just gonna read it out loud because it's not that long, and I'll share it so Kelly can see it because she'll appreciate it. In the early 60s, I lived briefly in Baltimore. Here is our house, rear view. One day, my neighbor dropped by and asked to borrow some salt. At first, I refused because we all know it's bad luck to lend salt. So we put our heads together and devised a solution to the problem. I returned to my ironing while she snatched the salt from the cabinet and slipped out the door. However, she stumbled on the back steps and broke her collarbone. I was luckier. The next day, I won the Maryland lottery. I just love that dark, droll humor.
Where does that come from? I must have read a letter or something or some little article about it's bad luck to lend salt. And that's what got it going.
It's brilliant. I love all your little stories in
And I hope my completely disjointed interview style doesn't bother you.
Of course.
yeah, in your the Book of Murder. It's just there's so many interesting articles or yeah, interesting because some of them are basically articles because they tell a whole story. But then you have all these little snippets that are just like the murder minutes or the minute murders.
Yeah.
Those are so interesting because they remind me of the one you just read where it's the picture and then you get this little blurb at the bottom, but then how it ends is just not how you think it's going to end.
A lot of continuity there. Yeah, that was my attempt to create a weekly comic for a publication in weekly papers, and it ended up just being in one paper. But that was okay.
That's okay. What paper was that in?
The Reader in San Diego.
Okay.
I worked with them for years. I illustrated a column for 35 years, and did whatever illustration projects came along.
So did you live in California or was that a
Yeah, I lived in San Diego for like what 36 years, 37.
wow.
Yeah.
Kansas to California, huh?
Well, California has a fatal attraction for
It does, for sure.
I have to say. But then finally, my wife and I decided we'd live there too long now, and we found New Mexico, which has just been wonderful.
That's awesome. It sounds like a great place. You're gonna do another Billy the Kid. I need to brush up on my Billy the Kid. But he was around in that area, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of the local, I won't say hero, but the local
Yeah.
character.
Anti-hero, I guess.
Yeah. And I live just 30 miles from the town of Lincoln, which was the center of a lot of his activities, and other towns in this area too. had a presence in. And
That's
there's just a lot of lore about him that circulates around here. It's
yeah,
just
I bet it's fun to research him out there.
oh, it
I'm
is
sure everyone has a story. Yeah.
lot of misinformation too, which is
Yeah.
part of it.
But those are kind of fun too. It'd be kind of fun to write a book of just all of the different stories that people come up with, whether they're true or not, just the crazy tales.
Yes, or the
Legends are what make history interesting. I
yes,
Mhm.
mean, history's incredibly interesting in and of itself. But I love, this. Unless you're a closet Star Wars geek, this will mean more to my wife than it does to you. But everybody got upset when Disney bought Star Wars and they took all of the expanded universe and they turned it into the Legends universe because they're saying they're taking it out of the canon. And I'm like, wait a minute, no, they're calling it Legends. They're saying some of this may be true and some of it may not be true.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
so cool.
Well, yeah, that's something else I didn't follow too closely.
Okay. So a lot of and I wonder if this is just because you were doing a lot of illustrations for newspapers, but a lot of your books and your comics are black and white. Is
Yeah,
that just what you prefer, or?
yeah. I prefer just the pen and ink. I'm more uncomfortable with it. Color, when I use color, it's just kind of an adjunct of not an essential element of the pen and ink line. Um,
Right,
it's
right. And you do so many wonderful textures and um contrast that it just doesn't it really doesn't need color. It's
well,
you know,
yeah,
it's neat to see the covers in color, but I think, and it also leads to that kind of, history type thing, like back, black and white back in the day and all of that.
we look at the past in sepia tones or black and
Right.
white. Uh, Even though it was just as colorful as today if you lived back then. Uh,
What? What?
I know it's hard to
I
imagine.
thought color was created in 1939.
Yeah, Technicolor. Yeah,
Everybody, I thought that was one of the like the WPA jobs to go around and paint everybody.
I'd have liked to have that job. Now,
Do you mean
yeah,
Pleasantville lied to me?
but yeah, we're used to looking at the past in monochrome.
Yeah.
That's that's part of the lure of it, I think.
Yeah. It just fits so well with the stories that you do. It just, yeah, it kind of puts you there a little bit like, okay, it's in the past. And so I can't see the color. It's more faded and yeah.
Yeah, and it adds to the. Uh, I like to preserve a kind of detachment in these old stories. Uh, the farther you get away from the tragedy, the more you can even add little comic twists to it.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't want to do a murder story that's more recent, like well, like anything. Yeah, it's
Right, right.
it's just too close.
Yeah, and
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's really important, I think, to tell the story, but not to, like you said, get too gory with it or get too, you know, personal with it. Because I think I like the best that it's facts and this is what happened. I think that's what makes your book so appealing.
Yes, yes. Well, I yeah, that's kind of the way my mind works. Um, with the most recent of the 20th century books I did, Black Dahlia, I
Mhm.
tried to, I spent a lot of the space exploring the life of this poor girl who was the victim. And I couldn't help getting a little, sentimental about it, more of a, trying to express the poignance of her life,
Right.
which pretty sad from day one, apparently.
For sure. And you won an award for that one. Wasn't it like the best true crime graphic novel?
Cartoonist
2017?
graphic novel.
Yeah. It's a
Very,
really good one.
yeah.
I,
Okay.
you did really capture her, just her like innocence, but
Yeah.
she had a rough life, and it's very well presented.
Well, thank you.
Okay. You mentioned that you were far from everything, so I had to pull up the map. And I've been as close as 250 miles from Carrizo's, because I went to scout camp in Cimarron.
Oh, all right.
But I also, in pulling up the map, saw that Roswell's down the road from you. Have you ever
Yes,
considered
it is. I've gone
tackling
to the
anything with that?
UFO museum there a couple of times. Yeah, they've that whole town, at least the downtown area, is pretty much taken over by alien stores and gift shops. And
Yeah.
uh, I actually did think about doing a graphic novel about that, but since I'm kind of a skeptic about the so-called Roswell incident,
Right.
I didn't think it would go over very well.
Right.
Well, you're also near the Mescalero Reservation,
Right.
near Zuni Pueblo Reservation. Have you ever thought about doing anything about the local indigenous history?
Well, actually, no, it's kind of hard for me to connect such a different culture. I do a coloring book. There's this area that.
Okay, you said coloring book. Now I have another thing that I have to order for my wife for Christmas.
Yeah.
I did a coloring book for Fort Stanton, which is the old cavalry fort near here. But I also did a coloring book for the Bosque Redondo, which is this area up near Fort Sumner, which was kind of a huge concentration camp in the 1860s, where they forcibly removed the Navajo population from its natural homeland up in the northwest corner of the territory to this area in just north of here near Fort Sumner, and they did the same with the population of Mescalero Apaches from where they lived in the Sacramento Mountains, which are right nearby. And anyway, they tried forcing these people to learn agriculture and to live in a way that was totally foreign to how they ever lived before. And it was this absolute failure, and it marked the only time in history where the Native Americans were allowed to return to their original homeland.
Wow.
Place in which they were moved. Anyway, I did a coloring book for that, which is
That's
kind of
awesome.
kind of a tragic coloring book.
Tragic coloring, but it sounds amazing. It sounds really cool.
You don't understand. For my wife, tragedy is her favorite thing, and coloring is her second favorite thing.
But it kind of reminds me of, and we talked about this with Landis Blair, how you don't necessarily need words to tell a story. So one of my favorite comic artists, well, not technically, is Lynn Ward, who is more of a printmaker and doesn't use words. And
he could tell a story with perfect clarity with no
amazing.
No words. Yeah. I'm a big admirer of him.
Yeah, me too. He's amazing.
So we're into the art history area, and Kelly's an art history buff. She complimented you at the beginning, comparing you to a couple of great artists. Who are your artists that you appreciate, that you admire, that you go to museums for?
Oh, well, yeah, I appreciate all kinds of artists throughout art history. But as I mentioned before, I love those pen and ink illustrators from the early 20th century, like Franklin Booth. Uh, 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 oh, what? I can't. I'm blocking his name. He's a Gertie the dinosaur. Little
Oh, Winslow Homer.
Winsor McCay.
Winsor McCay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Close enough.
And others along those lines whose names don't pop into my head at the moment.
I just pulled up some
got
Franklin Booth. This is
he's amazing.
really fantastic.
And since I've started to do books that use that are set in the Old West, I've become I really appreciate Charles Russell and Winslow Homer for their Western illustrations. They have people and horses in these extreme positions. They really squeeze every ounce of drama from these ordinary situations.
Yeah, they do for sure. It's amazing. I'm a big fan of Frank Griffith too. Just absolutely amazing. That I mean, I try very hard. I tend to be more of a screen printer or a linoleum printer, but I've tried my hand at etching, and it's fun and it's great, but man, it takes a lot of concentration to get all those little lines and
yeah. Ooh. But it's worth it.
It is for sure. Yeah.
Rick, it has been an absolute pleasure. Your Kickstarter is, Kelly, you pitch it. You pitch it better than I do.
Yep, it's the Benito City Tragedy. It does look like you've reached your goal, but I mean, there's 16 days to go, and
past our goal. It's 2 weeks tomorrow, so we're a couple of weeks left. And actually, all my Kickstarter projects are managed by my friend Mark Rosenbaum, who's been just incalculable in his assistance over the years. And he, in order to maybe influence a few more people to contribute, I'm adding 4 more pages to the book.
Oh wow!
Awesome. Yeah, I saw that there's a postcard available and a mini comic, and I'm so excited.
So thank you very much.
Yeah, no, I randomly got a text one morning saying, Rick Geary has a Kickstarter. Don't back it. I already did.
Yep.
Always good to hear.
Yes.
So
well, thank you so much. This has been amazing for me. I'm such a huge fan of yours, and I'm so glad that we were able to talk to you.
Well, thank you so much.
And if we ever get to the Southwest, I feel like we're going to have to make a detour to take you to lunch. Otherwise, my wife will divorce me.
Yeah.
I can feel that already. If we ever make it, if we're ever within 500 miles, we'll be looking you up.
Yeah, take a jog to Carrizosa. We're kind of in the middle of nowhere, but it's
we like the middle of nowhere.
Great.
I'm from the middle of nowhere, so
you'll be right at home then.
Right.
All right.
Well, thank you so much.
For Rick Geary, for my wife, for myself, for 22 Panels, we will see you after the next page.
Hey guys, this is Tyler from 22 Panels. I'm here to tell you all about our Patreon. If you enjoy this show, please consider donating to our Patreon to keep this show going. We have many different tiers, all different levels to help you decide what's right for you. Okay, so get on out there to patreon.com/22 Panels Podcast.